Tim, thanks for sitting down with me today. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Tim, you've launched a new company, new business, officially started accepting seed samples on November 4th.
Correct.
This past year. Congratulations.
Thank you.
The business is focused on seed testing, contract seed and safety research, grower and production staff workshops, and educational webinars. How does SoDak Labs actually get formed, and what's its raison d'etre for being?
Well, you know, in my experience is I've spent a lot of time in the seed testing industry at SDSU, Iowa State, and started a company and sold that company and finished my non-compete, and it's what I know how to do and still consider myself young, so not looking to retire, so wanted to get back into the testing business and came up with the name SoDak Labs, and we formed a company. It's got several owners, employee owners, and we're an independent company and just trying to find a niche working in the seed business.
Right, with lots of experience in it.
Yes, and you know, a lot of my experience comes from teaching, and you know, that's one of the things we've always tried to combine with seed testing, is trying to help people understand the principles and the concepts and actually how the tests work.
Right, because you do lots of workshops, right?
Yes,
right.
And webinars.
And so how does that, utilizing that technology and that process, which comes from your background, how does that help you stay connected with your customers, and how does it engage you with them more?
Well, I think, you know, and I'm a very visual person, you know, and I learn best by drawing a visual and showing people. And I had one participant said once, you know, I've never really understood this until you taught us, because you show us and explain it. And that's just what I try to do, put myself in their position and say, you know, and I have the knowledge of how the tests work, and then I have the academic knowledge of how the physiology works, and bring the two together to explain a seed quality issue and say, this is what we need to do to prevent it in the future.
Technology is changing, and SoDak is creating and developing software for seed testing labs. How has the technology evolved, and what do you kind of see as where are we going?
Well, and I'm you know, as an older person, trying to grasp the concept of storing my data in the clouds. You know, it's at the comfort level in the concept. But I think that, you know, everyone involved in the seed industry and exchanging the data, the important data, is re-entering data is a bad thing. We need to, you know, keep transferring it and trying to have seamless transfers, and then making it available to all the players, you know, whether it's the production company, the retail company, or the lab, trying to make seamless exchanges. I think that's an important part of the technology we need to use more.
You mentioned earlier your previous company, the Midwest Seed Services,
right?
Yes. And so you sold that off to SGS, and
correct.
Now you're an independent seed lab.
Starting over. Yeah.
What roadblocks are now in place that maybe weren't in place when you first started Midwest?
Well, it was a simpler time. Mm-hmm. You know, there were actually back then, you know, IMI corn was just coming on, and STS soybeans was a thought. BT corn was off in the future, and rootworm corn wasn't on the radar. So one of the big differences now is we have lots of traits. We have a lot of big players in the industry licensing those traits, and that's different than before, you know. And so the complexity of getting into business. And the other thing I found is vendors I'd worked with in the past are much busier, and everybody's busy, and trying to get it done is harder than it used to be.
Isn't that the truth? So, Independent Seed Lab, and we're here at the Independent Professional Seed Association meetings. What does it mean to an independent seed company to have an independent seed lab?
Well, I think they like the concept, but with a lot of things in life now, there has to be value to making the change, And that's, whether it's seed testing or really anything. So we're trying to create the value through the educational side and the knowledge side and tie it with the seed testing to help their businesses become more successful and grow. And if their customers plant seed and get high yields, they come back and buy seed. So, and we have more samples to test also. So, sort of a symbiotic relationship is what we would like to achieve. So,
is there one thing that stands out? We've been down here in gorgeous weather, Tucson. Is there anything that stands out as something that you've learned from your time with these guys down here at the IPSA meeting?
Well, in IPSA, and I'm a new member of this IPSA,
Right.
but actually a recycled member.
Right.
Because I think the first meeting I went to was the 5th year of IPSA. So, in the 20-some years of the seed industry, we've had so much consolidation. And so, what you see at this IPSA meeting, you see a lot of vendors trying to get the attention of a limited number of seed companies. So trying to get the time of these individuals is one of the hardest things here. But one of the things you find in working with family seed companies, independent seed companies, are very sincere people. So they usually give you the time and you can sit down and they'll listen to you, give you the time. So that's why I really wanted to get back into the seed industry.
Right.
Because people don't understand this in all industries, but I think in the seed industry you sort of have an extended family out there. And it's just nice to see those people, and if you can work together, mutually beneficial, great deal.
Tough to find a better industry, that's for sure.
I agree. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, good luck to you in the new endeavor. It's great to see the I'll steal your words, recycled face back into the industry, and welcome back.
Well, thank you, Shawn.
Thanks for taking the time to sit down with me. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, have a good evening.